Good evening, and welcome back, poetry lovers. This is ZM Wise, and here I am with another home recording just for you. Tonight's book review is on Storm Damage by Brian Patten. He is a contemporary poet from the UK, and this book was released in 1988, 1 year before I was born. He is also the author of other books such as Little Johnny's Confession, Notes to the Hurrying Man, The Irrelevant Song, Vanishing Trick, Grave Gossip, and Love Poems. And Mr. Patten also writes for children. His novel, Mr. Moon's Last Case, won a special award from the Mystery Writers of America Guild. Now then, about the book. A lot of this is highly confessional. Some of the pieces in here are very humorous, and some of them are more dry and sarcastic in that tone. But a lot of it encompasses the darkest corners of the human condition and of the mind as well. Let me give you an example. Looking back on it, in parentheses again. At 19, I was a brave old hunchback, climbing to tremendous heights, preparing to swing down on my golden rope and rescue accused innocence. But on my swooping, downward path, one day, innocence ducked, and I, amazed at such an act, crashed into a wall she had been building. 21 years later, sitting stunned beside that same brick wall, I see others climbing their golden ropes and hear innocence sniggering. I say nothing much, but sit with bandages and the hope that maybe after all, some sweet fool might in time swing right through that wall. And some of them, like I said, some of the pieces are a bit funnier. Let me find an example of that. Here. Where is Autumn Joke? Oh, wait, no. The Cynic's Only Love Poem, 31. The Cynic's Only Love Poem. Love comes and goes, and often it has paused, then comes back to see the damage it has caused. There's some logic to that. Aside from all these poems, though, my favorite was this extremely long piece he wrote towards the end of the book called A Fallible Lecture of the History of English Lit from 1386 to the present. I won't read you all of it, but it had me in stitches. I mean, it's one of those funny but true types of things. Let me see. I'll read you the page about John Keats and Lord Byron, and Shelley and William Wordsworth. So, 4 of the great Romantic poets. 3. I'm sorry. What the hell am I talking about? Soon afterwards, an opium-based drug called laudanum came on the market, and all the poets became woozy and began writing romantic poetry. One of these was John Keats, who set a fashion for catching syphilis and TB and for dying young, preferably in Italy. Other poets followed his example, Shelley even improving on it by drowning in Italy. Not wanting to be outdone, Lord Byron committed incest with his half-sister, went over to Italy to catch TB and drown, but didn't, and so instead he tried to unite the Greeks against the Turks. He was full of revolutionary fervor, but unfortunately caught fever and died. He was very romantic. The sole survivor of the Romantic poets was William Wordsworth, who decided to play it safe by living with his sister in the Lake District and writing poems about daffodils. It's incredibly hilarious, but it's just, a lot of it is so true. I mean, especially the part with the Romantic poets flocking to Italy, whether it was for exile, for retirement or paradise, or in some cases, running away from arrest. Yeah. So, anyway, get your copy of Storm Damage today by Mr. Brian Patten, And I also have one of his other books, one of his earlier ones called Notes to the Hurrying Man. Quite brilliant. So, if you liked what you saw, please check out my YouTube channel for other wonderful videos, other book reviews, interviews, live readings, home recordings, and of course my long series, A Poet's Addiction. And also check me out on Twitter and LinkedIn. I'm also on there. And if you prefer to see the text of my published poems, I'm on Tumblr, zmwisethepoet.tumblr.com. And also buy my books from Amazon. I have 4 available. Let me see, what am I forgetting? Poetry lives!